Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Halloween Kills, the direct sequel to the 2018 Halloween film, which set up its own universe where only it and the original 1978 film were the Halloween films that actually mattered. So in Halloween Kills, not only does Michael Myers end up coming back, as in he actually doesn't end up dying from the house fire that we saw in the last one, but he ends up sending the citizens of Haddonfield into a complete mob mentality. Well, let's get to the story, shall we? The story takes place directly after the events of the 2018 film, where Michael Myers not only escapes the Strode house, but he kills every single one of the firefighters who are there to put out the fire. So not only is Michael Myers still out there wreaking havoc across Haddonfield and killing everyone he comes across, but the citizens of Haddonfield are also alerted to his presence, and Tommy Doyle, who was the little kid that Laurie Strode was looking after in the first film, has grown into a man who is basically leading an entire group of Haddonfield citizens to try and take down Michael Myers by any means necessary. So it's not only so while Laurie Strode is in the hospital trying to recover, all of Haddonfield's trying to hunt down Michael Myers, while the rest of Laurie Strode's kids and grandkids try to figure out how to not only keep the town sane, but also to bring down the evil serial killer once and for all. But that's all I'll say about the story. I do like most of the ideas they go for when it comes to this film. The idea of misinformation and mob mentality being a lot of the major themes here does make a lot of sense, especially when it comes to a serial killer like Michael, and of course he would cause this kind of crazy reactions from the people of Haddonfield, especially since he's causing the same havoc that he always does. And considering the events of real life, where mob mentality, crazy crowds of paranoid and frightened people, and misinformation have caused tons of tragedies and atrocities, it's very clear that this film is touching on some very touchy subjects, while also giving us some of the best kills of the entire franchise. I mean, granted, Halloween's always been creative with its kills, but I do think having kills as its subtitle definitely shows that they went all out when it came to this film. Not just for the typical knife-related stabbings and slashings, but Michael gets pretty creative and pretty gory in this film, and I really did appreciate that no two kills felt the same. To the point where when James A. Janice covers the series, I'm sure he's going to have a field day with it. On top of that, they even recreate some of the scenes from the original 1978 film with new actors, and they actually look almost exactly like the events of the original, to the point where they even have some of the actors from the old films come back for this one. Not just Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, but also the same actor who played Tommy Doyle and a few others. And they happen to fit back into their roles very naturally. And there's tons of Easter eggs to other Halloween films as well, especially the Halloween masks that were featured in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which was the only Halloween film that didn't have Michael. But that isn't to say this movie isn't without its flaws. While the comedy of the film isn't as, apparent and it isn't as prominent here as it was in the 2018 film, it still is one of the lesser aspects of the film when it does show up. On top of that, I do think that there are still a few annoying and stupid characters in this film who feel like they're only there to get killed off. The franchise has had that for a while, even in the good films, but I think it really strained credibility even here. And on top of that, it does feel like the ending especially is going to be pretty divisive depending on who you ask. But considering that we all knew this was the second film of a planned trilogy and that Halloween Ends next year is going to end this particular story in the Halloween universe, we'll just see how things end up for both Myers and Laurie. So, ultimately, it's not my favorite Halloween film, not as good as the 2018 one, but I still enjoyed it. That's why I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. See you next time.